Hello everyone and welcome to another Historic video. So today we're going to be taking a look at another Eldrazi ramp deck in Historic format. So in the last video, I fought against two Eldrazi ramp decks and they were playing a card that I'm pretty fond of. And a lot of you guys were asking for an updated list to the Eldrazi, so I wanted to take a look at another Eldrazi deck today. And the card in question is this card called Palantir of Orthanc. This is a card that I played quite a bit in Timeless, but because there's so many combo decks in Timeless format that can just kill you on turn 3, like Show and Tell for example, the Eldrazi deck in Timeless format doesn't work as well. But in Historic, it's a completely different format without those degenerate combo decks. That's where the Palantir of Orthanc can really shine, because this card is absolutely insane in this deck, because you can play this out on turn 2 pretty consistently from a Utopia Sprawl and 4 copies of Ugin's Labyrinth. And why this card is really good is because we play Emrakul. So the first trigger of the Palantir, your opponent will probably take the damage. Let's say if you mill an Emrakul, then you already deal 13 damage, which means future turns with the Palantir of Orthanc, if you hit any of our 7 mana cards, the World Breaker, Devourer of Destiny, Null Drifter, they're just gonna die. So they have no choice but to give you a card every single turn. And that's something that this deck actually lacked before, because this deck does kind of run out of gas pretty quick if opponent plays a lot of discard spells. So being able to play this card on turn 2 is insane. And the fact that this also mills cards into the graveyard, which means if the Shifting Woodland ever sticks on the battlefield, then you have something to animate with the Shifting Woodland as well. Which means if the Palantir actually milled a 7 mana card, even Emrakul, and then you play a Shifting Woodland, in the future turns, you can just attack with these cards instantly and potentially just kind of win the game as well. And another change that I made is something that I actually complained about when I was playing this deck the last time, was this card called Uggin's Binding. So previously I didn't have an Uggin's Binding in the main deck, nor did I have Uggin's Binding in the sideboard, but after playing with Kozilek's Return, which is better most of the times, but there are certain matchups where the Kozilek's Return just doesn't do it. And the matchups where the Kozilek's Return doesn't do anything are things like Jeskai Control, Mirror Match, or even popular decks that spammed a lot in Historic format is Aura as well. The Kozilek's Return is just too slow against Aura, where the Uggin's Binding can potentially just give you an entire turn back. If you Uggin's Binding, bounce their 2 mana card, and then you do the same thing again by playing out a 7 mana card, you can just bounce everything back, and that's gonna give you more turns so that you can get to your big creatures faster. So hence that, I'm gonna be hopping over to some Historic Best of 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's hop on over. Wow, that's actually insane. We can't play the Kozilek's Return, but everything else is perfect. Actually, no, we can. Yeah, we can. Mono black discard. Okay. I think I'll just Kozilek's Command for 2. Liliana.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch
That is
my
actually gonna make our Breaker of Creation pretty bad. I'll just put the Kozilek's Return in the graveyard. Nice! That's probably one of the best cards I could have drawn. Wow. Are you kidding me? Why do you have that? Wait, what do you have that? Really? I'm pretty happy with this outcome.
Off you go.
I will lose the life. Thank you. The opponent's down to 13. They gave me a good old Ugin's Labyrinth. I mean, this game's probably just over. Another Liliana.
Run now, and I might spare your life.
Interesting.
Don't overthink things.
Consuming Corruption. Spawn. Very nice. Ogin's Binding. that is tempting actually. But probably not. I do like Kha'Zix's Command though. No. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's also really nice. Because now I can go this, play Break Her Creation, and still have a creature for to sacrifice to Liliana. What are we missing? Land. We're missing a land, so I mean, I can't actually pitch the Shifting Woodland. Okay, that touch, a little bit annoying.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
I guess I have to get rid of a Shifting Woodland.
You think too much.
Lose life. So this has a hexproof from each color and Annihilator 2. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it doesn't really matter to do 5 then. I'm gonna attack the Liliana of the Veil because they could have a board wipe. Honestly, I am loving the Palantir. It's great. It's been so
No
nice.
interest in fighting fair.
I'll start giving them cards because it could get out of hand. Oh, they are dead. Actually, not technically yet because Shifting Woodland has a summoning sickness. Two. I mean, I can probably do this. That's also pretty nice. Wait, the Palantir is gonna trigger twice, though. Another Shifting Woodland. So, we wanna use Thoughtseize on yourself. And then do that again. Boom. Pass the turn. I'll let you draw a swamp. Boom. You know, low-key Breaker of Creation is such a disgusting card. Because of the hexproof from each color. Draw card. What is this stop? You see the stop? Wait, they play a surgical main deck? So I believe Ugin's Binding is a slightly bit better because they play a lot of planeswalkers and stuff like that. I don't think I care about any of these. Maybe a Chalice of the Void. They play so many 1-mana cards. Wow, they even play Liliana's Triumph because they play a lot of Lilianas. But I'm not sure if it's that great of a card. I feel like this matchup you just win. So I think we wanna just sideboard as little as possible. Nice. So I am going to immediately put the Emrakul in here because they play a lot of discard spells. I need bones. That's really nice. It's a lot of good ramping here. I'll take the Drifting Woodland. I'll play a Solar Transformer. Two, three, four, five. We have 5 mana. Whenever opponent discards a card, exile it from the graveyard. Okay, pretty annoying. We're drawing pretty poorly. Not gonna lie. Let's commercial district to see if we can get something here. Another Myco spawn. No, thank you. So currently Emrakul costs 9 mana. What a difference not having the Palantir of Orthanc.
I'll have this fight finished before brunch.
The car is so good.
I've always hated crowds.
That's funny because they didn't discard this turn. Tiny Bone doesn't even get a trigger. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Sheldred. They're gonna mill me. Wow. We just got a free Emrakul. We just got a free Emrakul.
Don't overthink things.
Draw. Man, what are these draws, man? It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm just gonna attack my opponent twice. Maybe I should have tapped a little bit better. But I wouldn't be able to animate the shifting woodland anyways. What does this do? Each opponent discards a card. Why did they do that? Why didn't they just Liliana plus? If they're gonna steal it anyways, right?
Drop it.
Wait. Edict? My opponent has an edict. 1, 2, 3, 4. The way this is tapping is killing me. I made a mistake. This is floating. Oh no, it's fine. I can just tap the shifting woodland itself. Clutch! Well, that is an example of never drawing anything but lands and still get away with it. Playing against a Yorion, I think we can work with this, especially if the Malevolent Rumble gets me Ugin's Binding. I mean, not Ugin's Binding, whatchamacallit? Ugin's Lab. Birds of Paradise, what? So I actually need this over the Stomping Ground because I need it for the Cossacks command. So I'm gonna do this for sure. Landfall deck. You know, I've been seeing more landfall decks recently. That's just like one-shots you. If you control 7 or more lands, transform. So currently the Shifting Woodland is coming in tapped. I'm gonna get... do that. Pass the turn. I'll just hard cast. No, I'll probably Cossacks Return first before firing off an All Drifter. Yeah. Wow, it's a 2-mana 3/3. What is that? I can technically become a Null Drifter as well, but yeah, I think I just want to set up my Cossacks Return. I'm gonna do it now because of Burst of Paradise. Overlord, good card. We did put Cossacks Return there. Five mana Omnath. 5 mana Omnath. Oh wow. Oh wow. I was actually gonna attack with the Shifting Woodland, but you know, I think this is much better. Yep. 7 mana Emrakul. How did that even happen? Artifact? Oh, because we play Palantir now, because this is an artifact. So we got artifact, creature, land, sorcery, kindred, and instant speed. Insane. No, I think Ugin could go pretty hard here. They're playing a pretty slow deck. Might be better than a Breaker Creation. Enter the battle effect. Enter. But you can just play this as an enchantment though. This also enters. You know what? Maybe Torpor Orb is actually pretty good. I'll just have one Ugin. Yeah, I'll go minus 1 solar. Oh, I accidentally registered the 61 card deck. Okay, not bad. I'll take a Utopia's Fall. So we can get blue. Nice. Omen. We're ramping extremely fast. We're seeing a turn 3 World Breaker, potentially. Redane. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna be playing. Wait, this is only non-creature spells, right? Non-creature spells your opponent controls. I should have thought about that. Yeah, I made a mistake. I should have played the Kha'Zix command. I thought it was both of these together. But... okay, it doesn't matter. Don't really care about this card too much. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3. Wow. Insane. Decline. This deck is so sick. All right. This is a bait. This is a mulligan. We all know it. Man, why are you this card? I have to mulligan. Okay. Yup. That just happened. Archway. So we're actually playing against a pretty similar deck. Huh. Yeah, we're playing against a very similar deck here. I'm actually kind of scared. Because this is a goldfish deck that can potentially run out like Ulamogs, Emrakul's on turn 2. Turn 3, I mean. Uh-oh. Oh. This is not looking good, I must say. The shifting will land doesn't do anything. I'm kind of wishing we get a like 7 mana or higher card so that we can Sowing Myco spawn, kick it, and get rid of this archway. Okay, here we go. Oh my god, we actually got it. This was a multi-5, by the way. So, I mean, I'm fighting pretty hard here. And we're going to mill, surveil, a Breaker of Creation, or Emrakul. Boom. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Two, three. The thing is, we don't even have a second, That's really unlucky. Man. Yeah, balancing this doesn't do anything because we can't play the Flower of Destiny. This is pretty sad. Pretty sad outcome. Our Malevolent Rumble didn't even mill any creatures either. Like, it would have been so good if he did. Come on. Otherwise, opponent's gonna get away with this. No! I mean, at least I'm gonna be able to play the card next turn. But still. Where this is so bad. Such a bad draw. Such a bad draw. Like, even if a copy of Sowing Mycospawn was in the graveyard, we would have already won the game. Unlucky. 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 What? You're not gonna draw? Why do they have a Field of Ruin? I mean, I guess it makes sense because they're playing monocolored. Yeah, it does make sense. Oh my god, this is what I was afraid of, man. This was what I was afraid of. Artifact, Planeswalker, Creature. Yeah, they got it. I mean, just absolutely so unlucky. So unlucky. Okay, we have one chance. We have to mill something insane with this. Emrakul. That's... I mean... Wait, that's insane. We milled a Ugin. Ugin's Binding. This might actually do it. So, we're gonna get rid of a Field of Ruin. Decline. Decline. Boom. Oh my god. So they don't have a Null Drifter to bounce this back, but even then, they don't really want to bounce it because I can keep replaying this to get rid of these. We drew so bad, but that last Malevolent Rumble might have actually saved me. We currently have exact lethal. They can't play out any of these cards. Actually, no, they can... No, they can't even play the Cossacks Command either. Wow. Okay, we want a Disruptor Flute against this, Archway. Haywire Might against, this, Tameo thing. Tameo. We want these, Cossacks Returns out, and we'll have a Ugin's Binding. And I'm gonna have a copy of an Unlicensed Hearse for Ugin's Binding. I'll take out 2 Transformers. This is a bait, right? This is a gigabait. I do have a Devour of Destiny though, so I could potentially try to get Utopia Sprawl or Ugin's Lab. Because I think getting the Palantir out as soon as possible is going to potentially just win me the game. Come on. Yeah, look at how they mulliganed. This is definitely a goldfish tag. No. It's really tempting to grab the Disruptor Flute since they mulligan so hard. But I think I just wanna try to like ramp. Nice. So we already got Shifting Woodland set up. How do we already have it? Artifact, Instant Speed, Kindred, Sorcery. Wow. That's insane. Oh god. I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit scared. The thing is, they mulligan pretty hard, so potentially, like, they might not have enough to actually play out their cards. We'll see. This Ugin's Binding being in my hand without any blue source is a little bit concerning. Yep. Land, Kindred, Instant Speed, Creature, Planeswalker. So they're gonna get a Ugin here. Wait, does that even... is that even good? Come on. Blue mana. Blue mana. Okay, we got blue mana. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Why do they keep making me draw a card? I think we might actually have this. Believe it or not. The card advantage from the Palantir is actually helping me quite a bit. Would they minus for 1 though? I feel like they just plus, right? They can ultimate next turn. Like, you'd probably just go for that. Okay, you got me. You got me. So I can attack with an Aldrift turn starting next turn. At least they're not playing a Kazakh's Command here. Oh my god, they just top decked that. Oh, I lost. They're gonna get a Ulamog. Wow. Their top decks were just absolutely out of the world. Okay, they got me. I feel like we were so close to winning. If they hadn't top decked another Important Calamity. So I guess I should have probably topped the Flute. So that's where I made a mistake. Because opponent's deck is so reliant on gold fishing with the Cameo plus Important Calamity, I should have just kept the Disruptor Flute. Then I probably would have won. Since they also mulligan quite a bit too. That's where I made the mistake. Okay, we keep this. Okay, Ugin's Labyrinth, pretty good. I can't play this Null Drifter. But it is a Ugin's Labyrinth target, potentially. I really wanted to see a Haywire Might or Disruptor Flute off of that. But we did mill a Ugin's Binding, which might be pretty good if I can try to play this Null Drifter. Especially when they Tameo. No, I'll even take a Sowing Myco spawn. Okay, that's perfect. I'll take a Sowing Myco spawn, please. No? Mind Stone. Into Tameo. I think I'm just gonna bounce these. Oh my god. Hold up. We want that. So what do we get rid of? Ugin's Lab or Archway? I feel like Archway is a little bit more dangerous. Funny enough. Yeah, the Archway is a much dangerous card. So, are they just going to bounce this World Breaker? If they're not gonna play the Tameo? Seems like it. Okay. Play the Null Drifter. Nice. Okay, I'm pretty sure we won this one. This card is just such a good card in the mirror, right? Like, what a card. Like, this one and the Sowing Mycospawn together, we're playing 7 land destructions. Plus, Haywire Might, plus Disruptor Flute to play around the Archway and Tameo. Not bad. Definitely not a bad matchup. Alright, so yesterday I played against an Eldrazi deck, and they were playing this card called Palantir of Orthanc. And at the same time, some people were asking for a new updated list of the Eldrazi ramp. So I wanted to do another video of this because I'm actually quite a big fan of this card. I actually played the Palantir of Orthanc in Timeless at the time, and while it's good, the fact that the deck can just lose on turn 3 from Show and Tell, the deck didn't really perform as well as I expected. But in Historic, I completely forgot about this card, and the card is just unbelievably powerful because we have so many ways of actually getting to this card on turn 2, which is where it's going to shine the most, right? Because not only is this actively dealing damage to your opponent, because we play like a 13 mana card, 7 mana card, 8 mana card, things like that. But it's also a card advantage, right? Because like the first time this activates, they're probably going to take the damage, but then as soon as they take 13 damage, they're going to be like, oh my god, I just took 13 damage? I have to give them cards now, right? Because 13 plus 7 is death, right? So after the first activation where they take the damage, the following turns, you're going to be drawing a card every single turn, which is so good for this deck because this deck kind of needs it. If you've seen some of the games that I played, I just had some absolutely terrible lucks with just drawing only lands, Solar Transformers, Utopia Sprawl. Like you could get a string of cards like these, which could just lose you the game, but like the fact that the Palantir is not only doing damage, but it's also drawing you a card every single turn is what makes this card super good, especially the fact that you can play this out on turn 2 from Ugin's Lab or Utopia Sprawl. Another thing that this card is doing is the fact that it's milling. If they take the damage, you mill those cards, which means that is fueling for the Shifting Woodland. So if they took 7 damage from Palantir, from a Null Drifter, Devourer, or the World Breaker, or even Breaker of Creation, a single attack from a Shifting Woodland can just win you the game from a Emrakul. So it is super synergistic, which is something I like. And compared to the last deck, I am main decking a copy of Ugin's Binding because sometimes the Cosmic's Return isn't as good. I'm only playing 1 copy of it because it is a little bit harder to cast, but the fact that you can mill a Ugin's Binding from a Malevolent Rumble is why we're playing it. Since we're not going to be playing that many blue source, like as you can see, we have 4 copies of Utopia Sprawl, 1 copy of Breeding Pool, we have 4 copies of Solar Transformer. So we're only playing 9 copies of blue source that can potentially hard cast the Ugin's Binding. Oh, actually, I forgot about the Sowing Mycospawn too. So technically 13 copies of blue source, but it has to come from these cards. So, I mean, now that I'm kind of looking at it, 13 copies of blue source with these cards, it's not too bad because we're only playing 1 copy of it. And the reason why we're playing Ugin's Binding, as you've seen from a final game that we played, it is a lot better than Cosmic's Return because, I mean, against those kind of decks, this doesn't do anything, right? So being able to play Ugin's Binding is very, very important. Another deck where the Ugin's Binding is a bit better than Cosmic's Return is actually against Aura deck. Aura deck is super popular in Historic format. Having a copy of a Ugin's Binding that you can potentially just bounce everything is going to be super helpful. And that is also another reason why we're playing another copy of Ugin's Binding. We are playing Ugin the Spirit Dragon for that purpose as well. So against Aura deck, the Ugin is going to be really good, but this is a 8 mana card, so might even want to replace another Ugin with the Ugin's Binding, to be fair, so that you can just sideboard out the Cosmic's Return against Aura matchup just to have 3 copies of Ugin's Binding. That's definitely a thing you can do. So where is the Cosmic's Return better over the Ugin's Binding? And that is going to be like any decks that are playing things like Ajani. Johnny, Guide of Soul, also Pride, right? This is going to be a lot better than Ugin's Binding because this is a targeted removal, targeted bounce when you play this, but this one's just a straight up board wipe when you cast it for 3 mana, right? So this is going to be a lot better in those kind of matchups, but even against that matchup, Ugin's Binding is not bad. So that's why we have a 2-1 split there. So honestly, super big fan of this version with the Palantir of Orthanc. Yeah, give it a go. I think this deck is super sweet. You could replace the Breaker of Creation to this card called Sire of Seven Deaths, right? But the only reason I'm playing this card over the Sire is because of the Annihilator 2. Since we are going to be playing Shifting Woodland, right? Attacking with this card, it's okay. So where is this card better than the Breaker of Creation? Well, there is only one matchup. That's why we're not playing this card. This card is only good against the Wizard deck. So if you're running into a lot of mono red or mono red aggro or Wizard decks, this is the card that you want to play. Just because this one has First Strike, Vigilance, and Reach. And Lifelink, right? So even if a card like this card comes down, they can't ever attack because it has First Strike and Reach. And the fact that it has Vigilance and Lifelink means that it can attack every single turn, right? So it's a pretty powerful card, but just because we're playing Shifting Woodland and Wizard decks aren't as popular as they were before, so that's why we're playing a Breaker of Creation. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.